The massive alien ship appeared over New York without warning. Its sleek silver hull gleamed in the morning sun, stretching nearly 2 miles across the sky. On the streets below, millions of humans stood frozen, their necks craned upward as history unfolded before their eyes. First contact had arrived. Admiral James Walker stood at attention in the United Nations Emergency Chamber, his decorated uniform stark against the chaos of rushing diplomats and military officials. At 62, he had seen his share of crises, but nothing could have prepared him for this moment. The aliens called themselves the Council Representatives, and their message was simple. Earth had been chosen to join the galactic community. Their technology is centuries ahead of ours, General Thomas Grant whispered to Walker as they watched the holographic presentation. The alien ambassador, tall and elegant with silvery skin, showed images of advanced spacecraft and pristine worlds. We'd be fools to refuse their offer. But in a small, dimly lit office 3 floors below, Marcus Reed noticed something wasn't right. The junior analyst had spent the last 12 hours analyzing the aliens' transmitted data packets. His eyes were red from staring at screens, his desk cluttered with empty coffee cups. Most saw him as just another government worker, young and unremarkable. They were wrong. "There's a pattern here," he muttered, fingers flying across his keyboard. The aliens' encryption was good, too good. Why use such heavy security for simple diplomatic messages? Marcus had always been good at puzzles, and this one had pieces that didn't fit. The next week passed in a blur of worldwide celebrations. The council representatives promised to share their technology, to cure diseases, to end poverty. Earth's government scrambled to prepare for membership in the galactic community. But Marcus kept digging. He found the first real clue in a data burst meant for a council ship in orbit. The encryption was different, meant for their own kind. It took him 3 days to crack it. When he did, his blood ran cold. The message read, "Subject species shows acceptable adaptability. Physical capabilities within standard slave parameters. Recommend immediate integration protocol." Marcus's hands shook as he downloaded the evidence. The council wasn't offering membership. They were preparing for conquest. Humanity wasn't being uplifted. They were being assessed for servitude. He took his findings directly to Admiral Walker. The old military man listened in silence, his face growing darker with each revelation. When Marcus finished, Walker stood and walked to the window, looking out at the alien ship still hovering over the city. "They think we're primitive," Walker said quietly. "They think we're foolish children who will welcome our own enslavement." He turned back to Marcus, his eyes hard. "They're wrong." Within hours, a secure network of Earth's top military and scientific leaders was activated. They met in underground bunkers, communicating through old hardwired systems the aliens couldn't monitor. The council representatives had made a critical mistake. They had shown their hand too soon. Dr. Emma Stone, head of the newly formed Hybrid Technologies Division, studied the alien gifts with new purpose. "They gave us just enough to make us dependent," she reported, "but they underestimated human ingenuity. We can reverse engineer this technology, adapt it, improve it." Admiral Walker set up Operation Phoenix, a global resistance plan hidden behind a mask of eager cooperation. While Earth's leaders smiled and nodded at council proposals, underground factories began production. Military forces trained in secret. Scientists worked around the clock. The council representatives watched with satisfaction as humanity seemed to embrace their guidance. They noted how eagerly Earth's people adopted their technologies, how willingly they followed council suggestions. Everything was proceeding according to plan. They never saw Marcus Reed's team tracking their every transmission. They didn't notice Dr. Stone's breakthroughs in weapons development. They missed General Grant's hidden military preparations. The council representatives were too busy congratulating themselves on another successful integration. The trap was set. Humanity danced to the council's tune while preparing for war. And when the council finally revealed their true intentions, Earth would be ready. In his office, Admiral Walker looked at the latest reports and allowed himself a grim smile. Let them think humans were primitive. Let them think Earth was weak. They would learn the truth soon enough. The real first contact was coming, and it would not be peaceful. In the depths of an underground facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Emma Stone held up a small device that looked like a normal smartphone. But this was no ordinary phone. It was humanity's first successful fusion of Earth and alien technology. "Watch this," she said to Admiral Walker and the other military leaders gathered around her workbench. She pressed a button, and the device projected a perfect hologram of the room. Then, with another touch, the hologram showed what was happening 3 rooms away, right through the solid rock walls. "We've improved their scanning technology," Emma explained, her eyes bright with excitement. "The Council's version can't penetrate our planet's mineral structures. Ours can, and they don't know we've done it." Admiral Walker nodded slowly. 2 months had passed since they discovered the Council's true intentions. Every day since then had been a careful dance of deception. On the surface, humanity played the role of eager students. Underground, they prepared for war. Marcus Reed's intelligence team worked around the clock, intercepting and decoding Council messages. They learned that the aliens had conquered 12 other species this way. They would arrive peacefully, share some technology, then suddenly strike with overwhelming force. No civilization had ever successfully resisted, but they all fought alone. General Grant said during a secret meeting, "We're doing something different." He pointed to a world map showing hidden military bases. Every nation on Earth is working together. For the first time in human history, we're truly united. The Council representatives continued their visits, showing off more advanced technology each time. They never noticed how humans studied everything they did. They didn't realize that every gift they gave was taken apart, analyzed, and improved upon in hidden labs around the world. Dr. Stone's team made breakthrough after breakthrough. They discovered that Earth's primitive nuclear technology could be combined with Council energy systems to create weapons more powerful than anything the aliens had. They found ways to shield their activities from Council scanners. Most importantly, they learned how to hack the aliens' communication networks. "They think we're just copying their basic tech," Emma told Walker one evening. "They have no idea we're building something better." She showed him the latest test results. The Admiral's eyes widened as he read. Meanwhile, in secret facilities across the planet, soldiers trained with new hybrid weapons. Fighter pilots learned to fly spacecraft that looked clumsy and primitive on the outside, but contained surprising power within. Engineers built hidden launch sites beneath farmland and mountains. The Council's assessment of Earth continued exactly as planned. Their reports noted how humans eagerly absorbed basic technological concepts. They recorded how Earth's military forces began using simple Council weapons in obvious ways. Everything suggested a species ready for conquest. But they missed the small details. They didn't notice how Earth's satellites were quietly replaced with more advanced versions. They ignored reports of unusual energy readings, dismissing them as natural phenomena. They failed to realize that humans were masters of adaptation and improvement. One day, a Council representative asked to inspect a human military base. General Grant happily gave them a tour, showing off soldiers training with Council-provided weapons. The aliens left satisfied, never discovering the vast facility hidden half a mile beneath their feet. "How long until they make their move?" Marcus asked during a command meeting. His intelligence team had intercepted more invasion plans. "Soon," Admiral Walker replied. "Their fleet is gathering. They'll strike within months." He looked around the room at Earth's leaders. "Are we ready?" Dr. Stone activated a hologram showing their hidden preparations. Thousands of advanced fighters, hybrid weapons platforms, shield generators, a completely new type of battle strategy. "We're ready," she said firmly, "and we have something they've never seen before." "What's that?" asked General Grant. Emma smiled. "The human ability to learn from our enemies and turn their strength against them. When they come, they'll find out what humanity can really do. In orbit, the Council ships continued to arrive, gathering for their conquest. Below them, Earth waited, a carefully prepared trap ready to spring shut. The Council thought they were watching humanity's last days of freedom. They were actually watching humanity's final days of pretending to be weak. The Council ships arrived at dawn. 500 massive warships dropped out of faster-than-light travel, their hulls gleaming in the morning sun. They filled Earth's orbit like a swarm of metal insects, their weapons already charging. In his command center deep underground, Admiral Walker watched them arrive on the holographic display. "Right on schedule," he said quietly. Beside him, Marcus Reed nodded as he monitored the Council's communications. "They're sending the surrender demand now," Marcus reported. "Just like we expected." The Council's message boomed from every speaker and screen on Earth. "Your integration begins now. Resist and face extinction. Submit and survive as part of the Council's empire." What happened next went exactly according to the Council's plans. At first, Earth's major cities raised white flags. Military bases stood down. Government leaders made public announcements of surrender. The Council commanders smiled in satisfaction as their troops began landing operations. The first wave of Council dropships landed in New York. They found empty streets and no resistance. The second wave landed in Beijing, encountering the same. The third wave touched down in London, meeting only silence. "Too easy," one Council commander said to another. "These humans are even weaker than we thought." That's when the trap was sprung. The empty streets suddenly came alive. Buildings that appeared abandoned opened like flowers, revealing hidden weapon ports. The primitive human satellites in orbit transformed, shedding their fake casings to reveal advanced hybrid weapons platforms. Dr. Stone's voice crackled over the secure command channel. "All units, Operation Phoenix is go. Activate all systems." The Council forces in New York didn't even have time to scream. Energy fields based on their own technology, but modified by human engineers, sprang up around their landing zones. Their weapons suddenly stopped working. Their communications went dead. In orbit, the Council fleet commanders watched in horror as their ground forces vanished from their screens. They tried to fire their ship weapons, but Earth's new defense shields, hidden until that moment, flared to life. "Protecting the planet. Launch the fighters," Admiral Walker commanded. Around the world, hidden hangar doors opened in mountains, beneath oceans, and under farmland. Thousands of fighters rose into the sky. They looked simple and primitive on the outside, exactly what the Council expected to see. But inside, they carried Dr. Stone's hybrid technology. The Council commanders laughed when they saw the small Earth ships approaching. Their laughter died when the primitive fighters tore through their advanced shields like paper. "Impossible," a Council admiral shouted as his ship's defenses failed. "They're barely a space-faring race." General Grant's voice answered over their own communication channels. "You should have checked our history. Humans don't like bullies." The battle raged for hours. Council ships found their weapons barely effective against Earth's hybrid shields. Their tactics, unchanged for centuries, failed against humanity's unconventional warfare. Every time they thought they had the humans beaten, Earth forces revealed another surprise. Marcus monitored the Council's panicked communications with grim satisfaction. "They're calling for reinforcements," he reported. "They can't believe they're losing." "Good," Admiral Walker said. "Let them come. Phase 2 is ready." By sunset, half the Council's invasion fleet was destroyed or captured. The others retreated in disorder, leaving their ground forces trapped on Earth. In New York, Beijing, and London, Council soldiers found themselves surrounded by humans who were far from primitive. Dr. Stone entered the command center, holding new data readings. "The hybrid weapons worked better than expected," she reported. "And we've captured enough of their intact technology to begin Phase 2 ahead of schedule." Admiral Walker nodded, studying the holographic display of Earth's orbital defenses. "Send the message," he ordered. Around the world, Every screen and speaker carried humanity's response to the Council. Your integration force has failed. Earth is not your slave. And now, we're coming for you. In their retreat, the Council ships transmitted urgent warnings to their leadership. Humanity wasn't just fighting back. They had turned the Council's own technology against them. For the first time in centuries, the mighty Galactic Council faced something they never expected. A species that had outfought them. 2 weeks after Earth's successful defense, the Council leadership held an emergency meeting. Their holographic images flickered as they discussed the impossible. A primitive species had defeated their best invasion fleet. Meanwhile, in the captured Council command ship hovering above the Atlantic Ocean, Dr. Emma Stone made another breakthrough. She stood in the alien bridge, now filled with human technicians, and showed Admiral Walker her latest discovery. They're faster than light drives, she explained, pointing to complex diagrams. We've not only figured out how they work, we've made them better. She brought up a comparison chart. Their ships can jump 5 light years at a time. Ours can now jump 7. Walker smiled. The Council's greatest mistake wasn't just attacking Earth. It was giving humans time to study their technology. Every captured ship, every piece of alien tech had been taken apart and improved by human engineers. Marcus Reed burst into the bridge, his tablet displaying intercepted Council communications. They're gathering a second fleet, he reported. The biggest one in Council history. 3,000 ships. Let them come, General Grant said from his station. This time, we're not waiting for them to reach Earth. Operation Phoenix Phase 2 began that night. Hidden shipyards around Earth revealed their secrets. Humanity's first battle fleet emerged from underground bases, underwater hangars, and mountain bunkers. Each ship combined Council technology with human innovation in ways the aliens never imagined. The Council spies watching Earth reported in confusion. These ships looked nothing like normal Council designs. They were smaller, faster, more maneuverable. Some disappeared completely from sensors, using stealth systems that shouldn't have been possible. Primitive species don't innovate this quickly, one Council leader complained. It's against all our records. They don't just copy technology. Another realized with growing horror. They improve it. Dr. Stone's hybrid weapons proved their worth in the first encounter. A small group of Earth ships encountered a Council patrol near Mars. The aliens expected an easy victory over the primitive humans. Instead, their ships were disabled by weapons they didn't even understand. How? The captured Council commander asked as he was led away. Your species barely had spaceflight 6 months ago. You gave us exactly what we needed, Emma told him as she examined his ship's technology. Knowledge. And humans are very, very good at learning. The Council's massive fleet gathered near Jupiter, preparing to crush Earth once and for all. But Admiral Walker had no intention of fighting a defensive battle. Earth's fleet, led by his flagship Freedom, struck first. Human ships appeared in the middle of the Council formation, their improved jump drives allowing them to bypass the alien defenses. The Council commanders frantically ordered their ships to respond, but centuries of easy victories had made them inflexible. Status report, Walker commanded as the battle raged. Their shields can't stop our hybrid weapons, Grant reported. Their tactics haven't changed in 500 years. They don't know how to handle our attack patterns. The space around Jupiter lit up with explosions as humanity demonstrated its true power. Council ships found their computer systems hacked by Marcus's cyber warfare teams. Their energy weapons were reflected back at them by Emma's improved shields. Their formations were broken by human ships that moved in ways they thought impossible. Send the message, Walker ordered as the Council fleet began to retreat in panic. Every Council ship received the transmission. You thought Earth would be an easy conquest. You thought humans were primitive. Now you know better. This is just the beginning. The Council's mighty armada fled in disorder, leaving hundreds of destroyed or captured ships behind. In their secure chambers, the Council leadership faced a terrifying truth. They hadn't just failed to conquer Earth. They had awakened something far more dangerous, humanity's full potential. Dr. Stone examined the newly captured technology with gleaming eyes. "With these ships, we can reach their core worlds," she said, "and I have some ideas for improving their weapons even further." The Council had ruled the galaxy through superior technology and fear. Now they faced a species that could take their technology and make it better, who turned their own weapons against them. A species that didn't know how to stay conquered. Humanity was going to change the galaxy, whether the Council liked it or not. The Council prison world of Tartarus was supposed to be unbreakable. For centuries, it had held the most rebellious members of conquered species. Its defenses were legendary. No one had ever escaped. Until today. The Earth fleet appeared from hyperspace without warning. 20 ships, led by Admiral Walker's flagship Freedom, dropped out of faster-than-light travel inside the planet's defensive grid. It should have been impossible. The Council's sensors didn't even detect them coming. "Begin Operation Liberation," Walker commanded. On his tactical display, he watched as Earth's ships moved into position. Each vessel now carried Dr. Stone's latest improvements, weapons and shields that made Council technology look outdated. The prison planet's defenders never stood a chance. Their unbreakable shields fell in minutes to Earth's hybrid weapons. Their automated defense systems were hacked and shut down by Marcus Reed's cyber warfare team. Their reinforcements arrived too late. General Grant led the ground assault personally. Earth Marines, wearing powered armor that combined Council tech with human design, breached the prison's walls. Inside, they found thousands of aliens from dozens of species, all imprisoned for resisting Council rule. "We're from Earth," Grant told the stunned prisoners, "and we're here to set you free." The news spread across the galaxy like wildfire. Earth, the primitive world that had defeated 2 Council fleets, had just broken into their strongest prison. The Council's image of invincibility was shattered. In her lab aboard the Freedom, Dr. Stone worked with scientists from the freed species. "Your people have technologies we've never seen," she told them, "and we have ways of improving Council tech that you never thought of. Together, we can be stronger than them." The Council responded with rage, sending their 3rd fleet to crush the upstart humans. But Earth was ready. This time, they had allies. Multiple contacts. Marcus called out from his station. "Ships dropping out of hyperspace. They're from the freed worlds. They're helping us." The space battle that followed would be remembered for centuries. Earth ships led the attack, using tactics that broke every rule of Council warfare. Behind them came vessels from a dozen freed worlds, each bringing their own unique technologies to the fight. Admiral Walker watched as the Council fleet fell into chaos. Their rigid tactics, unchanged for centuries, couldn't handle the combined innovations of Earth and its new allies. Their ships were surrounded, their formations broken, their leaders confused. "Send the broadcast," Walker ordered. Every ship in the battle space received the message. "To all Council worlds and subject species, watch what happens when the enslaved unite. Your empire of fear is ending." The Council fleet tried to retreat, but Earth's improved jump drives let them cut off their escape routes. Dr. Stone's hybrid weapons tore through their defenses. General Grant's Marines boarded and captured their flagship. In the Council's command center, their leaders watched in horror as reports came in. Not only had Earth freed their prisoners, they had given hope to every enslaved species in the galaxy. Rebellions were breaking out everywhere. How dare they? One Council leader raged. They were supposed to be primitive, easy to conquer. "You made 3 mistakes," the captured Council admiral told his interrogators. "You thought humans were weak. You gave them time to study your technology. And worst of all, you made them angry." The battle ended with another Council defeat, but this was more than just a military victory. Earth ships set course for other prison worlds, other enslaved planets. Each freed species brought new knowledge, new technologies, new ways of fighting. Dr. Stone could barely contain her excitement as she studied the combined technologies. "We're not just beating them," she told Walker. We're completely changing how the galaxy works. The Council had ruled through fear and technological superiority. Now they faced something unprecedented. An alliance of species led by humans who could take any technology and make it better, who refused to accept slavery, who fought not just for themselves, but for everyone's freedom. The galaxy was changing. The age of Council dominance was ending, and humanity was leading the way to something new. A future where no species would bow to tyrants again. The Grand Council Chamber, once a place of absolute power and unquestioned authority, had descended into chaos. Council members shouted at each other across the vast circular room, their holographic images flickering with their anger. 3 fleets destroyed. Our strongest prison broken. Half our subject worlds in rebellion. One council leader slammed his fist on his desk. All because we thought humans were primitive. Marcus Reed watched the council's secret session through hacked communication channels. His team had broken their unbreakable encryption weeks ago. Every word, every plan, every secret fear of the council was now known to Earth. They're falling apart, he reported to Admiral Walker. 6 more council species have declared neutrality. They're abandoning the Empire. Walker nodded, studying the strategic display in Earth's new command center. The map showed hundreds of worlds, nearly half of them now glowing with the green light that marked them as freed from Council control. Earth ships, marked in blue, moved between these worlds, spreading technology and hope. Dr. Emma Stone entered the command center, followed by a group of alien scientists. The combined research is proceeding faster than we expected, she announced. Every freed species brings new insights. We're not just improving Council tech anymore. We're creating completely new technologies. The Council's crisis deepened as more reports arrived. Their subject worlds weren't just rebelling. They were forming new alliances. Earth had shown them a different way. Instead of conquest and slavery, humans offered partnership and shared advancement. How do they do it? A council minister demanded. How do they improve our technology so quickly? Because you never allowed innovation, answered a former council slave world representative, speaking openly for the first time in centuries. You kept your technology the same for 1,000 years. Humans showed us we could make things better. General Grant led a diplomatic mission to one of the largest council member worlds. He didn't bring threats or demands. Instead, he offered them a choice. Join us as equals, he told their leaders, or watch as the galaxy changes without you. Earth doesn't want slaves or subjects. We want allies. The Council's power structure, built on fear and technological control, began to crumble. More species declared their independence. Ancient rivalries were set aside as former enemies united against their common oppressor. In her laboratory aboard the Freedom, Dr. Stone worked with scientists from 20 different species. Together, they solved problems that had stumped the Council for centuries. New ships were built, combining the best ideas from every world. Unity makes us stronger, she explained to a group of visiting Council world representatives. Every species has something unique to offer. Together, we can achieve things none of us could do alone. The Council made one last desperate attempt to maintain control. They threatened to destroy any world that joined Earth's alliance. The response came not from humans, but from their former subjects. We are not afraid anymore, the United Species declared. Earth showed us that even the mightiest can fall. Your time is over. Admiral Walker received the news in Earth's command center. The Council was fracturing from within. Their oldest and strongest member species were now calling for reform. The empire that had ruled the galaxy through fear for 1,000 years was collapsing. They never understood, Marcus said, reading the latest intercepted council messages. They thought ruling through fear and technology would keep them in power forever. They didn't realize that oppression breeds innovation in those who want to be free. Earth's influence continued to grow. The Free Systems Alliance, as the new coalition was called, already included more worlds than the Council had at its height. But unlike the Council, this was an alliance of equals. The council thought finding Earth was their great victory. Dr. Stone told her mixed species research team. Instead, it was the beginning of their end. The galaxy was transforming. The Council's grip on power weakened daily as more worlds joined the Alliance. Their thousand-year reign was ending not with a massive battle, but with the quiet revolution of species choosing freedom over fear. And it had all started because they thought humans were primitive. They never realized that humanity's greatest strength wasn't technology or weapons. It was the ability to unite others and inspire them to build something better. The new Galactic Assembly Hall on Earth was nothing like the old council chamber. Instead of raising the leaders' seats high above others, everyone sat at the same level. Representatives from 200 worlds filled the room, former council members now sitting beside species they once enslaved. Admiral Walker stood at the speaker's podium, his uniform now bearing the symbols of both Earth and the Free Systems Alliance. 6 months had passed since the Council's final surrender. The galaxy had changed more in that time than in the previous 1,000 years. We gather here not as rulers and subjects, Walker began, but as equals, each of us bringing our own strengths to make a better galaxy for all. In the research complex next door, Dr. Emma Stone led the largest scientific collaboration in galactic history. Hundreds of scientists from different species worked together, sharing knowledge that the Council had kept separated for centuries. "Look at this," she said to a visiting group of former Council leaders. She showed them a hologram of their latest breakthrough, a new form of faster-than-light travel that combined technologies from 12 different species. "This is what happens when we work together instead of fearing each other." Marcus Reed, now head of the Alliance Intelligence Service, brought up a galaxy map in the Situation Room. Unlike the old Council maps that showed conquered and unconquered worlds, this one showed trade routes, scientific missions, and cultural exchanges. "The last Council holdouts have requested membership in the Alliance," he reported to Walker after the assembly session. "They finally realized that cooperation makes them stronger than conquest ever did." General Grant led a ceremony at the former Council prison world of Tartarus. The prison walls were being torn down, replaced by a memorial and a new Alliance Academy. Former prisoners helped design the school, where people from all species would learn together. "This place once represented fear and oppression," Grant told the crowd. "Now it will stand for unity and progress. Everyone who comes here will learn the lesson that Earth taught the galaxy. Together, we are greater than the sum of our parts." The changes weren't just political. Dr. Stone's combined species research teams made breakthroughs weekly. Diseases that had plagued various species for generations were cured. New technologies made space travel faster and safer. Worlds that had been stripped bare by Council mining were restored. The Council kept species separated because they feared what we could accomplish together. Emma explained to a class of young scientists from 30 different worlds. They were right to be afraid. United, we can do anything. The Alliance passed its first major test when a previously unknown hostile species attacked an outer world. Under the old system, each planet would have faced such threats alone. Now ships from dozens of worlds responded together. The attackers fled, stunned by the coordination and advanced technology of the combined fleet. "Send them a message," Walker ordered as the alien ships retreated. "Tell them we are willing to talk. The galaxy has room for all who wish to live in peace." In the Great Assembly Hall, representatives debated and voted on the Alliance's first constitution. Every species had a voice. Every world had a vote. The document they created enshrined not just rights and freedoms, but responsibilities to help one another. "This is how we prevent another council from rising," Marcus told the assembly. "Not through fear or control, but by building something everyone wants to protect." 1 year after Earth's first victory over the Council fleet, representatives from 300 worlds gathered for the Alliance's founding ceremony. The former Council chambers were opened as a museum, a reminder of how the galaxy used to be. Dr. Stone stood with Walker, Grant, and Marcus, watching the celebration. "They thought finding Earth was their great triumph," she said. "Instead, we showed them a better way." The Council wanted to make humans their slaves, Walker replied. Instead, we became the galaxy's teachers. The night sky above Earth glowed with the lights of ships from hundreds of worlds. All joined in celebration. The Council's age of fear was over. Humanity had not just defended itself, it had transformed the galaxy into something better. And this was only the beginning.